Center for the Visual and Performing Arts at Suitman High School. I see several of my unicorns out in the audience. Thank y'all for coming. Thank you so much. I am now the CEO and founder of Sculpted Clay Productions, which is an educational consulting organization that uses theater to address emotional resilience in schools. So, good evening. My name is Patricia Payne, and I am the Theater Instructional Supervisor for Prince George's County Public Schools, former Principal Benjamin D. Floyd, created a Performing Arts Academy. Good evening. My name is Bridget Artis. I am the Theater Resource Teacher for Prince George's County Public Schools.
Aloha everybody, my name is Kainoa Sidman. I am a theater teacher at Benjamin D. Floyd Creative and Performing Arts Academy. This is my first year teaching at Prince George's County Public Schools. I'm very, very proud to be back.
Happy Thursday everyone, Zazan Manzano-Lee, Director of Specialty Programs and the Arts.
Good evening, I'm Frank Hammond. I am finishing my 26th year teaching in the county and my 15th year teaching theater at Laurel. And
All right, you can just hold it. So I have a couple of questions. This piece, obviously, is an original piece, was written for high school, originally was written for high school students to perform. It was written in 2012, and it's had lots of different iterations. I see several of my actual former cast members in the audience as well, so hey, hey. However, what I want to ask this panel is, what moment in the show hit you the hardest, and why? So when we read it, as we were going through it, what moment resonated most with you?
So there are two characters that resonated most with me, Bookworm and Artsy. I'm extremely type A. I try to tell myself that I'm not a perfectionist and that I strive for excellence, but I don't really believe that. And so seeing the challenges that Bookworm experienced and then thinking about the trauma that Artsy experienced and knowing that that happens, unfortunately, too often, those are the two characters and the two moments that resonated with me deeply throughout the play.
Thank you, thank you. Anybody else want to take that question?
I found that the artsy scene for Renewed Innocence, that was very powerful for me. And when Kia was like looking at us, one of the people in the masks, it was just very impactful, and having known students who've been through similar journeys, and those are not pleasant ones, that was very hard work for me.
For me, it would be the role of the teacher. What resonated was the loss of a student. I felt that before, experienced it before, the guilt that you feel. What could I have done? And then the burnout. I felt like I was telling the stories of so many of my colleagues, past, present, just things that they experienced, the hardship of dealing with the system and feeling like the system failed them.
So that actually leads to my second question. So you, Bridget, actually a few days ago wrote on social media, I'm gonna quote you. You said, "Standing on the Edge is more than a play, it's a mirror, a reflection of what so many students and educators quietly carry, the exhaustion, the expectations, and the emotional toll of simply trying to keep going." So my question is, in what ways, and you already kind of opened the door to that, in what ways did the show reflect the realities of what we see every day? Are we seeing every day in classrooms, in district offices? How did it reflect that for you?
So the first thing that resonated was the fact that you have to keep going with everything that's expected, everything that's required, and you gotta do it. And trying to find a balance between getting it done and still being human, listening and hearing what your staff is saying, what your subordinates are saying, what your superiors are saying, and not just focusing on, okay, I gotta get this done. So the scene when the teacher came in to say, hey, I feel like I'm burnt out, and the principal's response is, did you see your test scores? That's deep.
Because I can imagine, like, as we saw, there's like pressure, above, and sometimes we don't see that. We don't realize we are in pockets that all we see is our pocket.
The line, feeling like my time isn't mine. So my thing that I used to try to do with my friends is say something like, let's let Sunday be Sunday. Because what happens on Sunday for teachers and educators, they start tripping about Monday and the anxiety steps in. I'm like, we don't get a full 2 days because you got a day and a half. Because Sunday evening, you already into Monday. So that thing of losing your own time preparing and giving to the system is rough and real.
Yeah, I definitely think it's from the point of view as someone who played a student that we follow through these 4 years, we see the things that we see in these archetypes of students, bookworm, aimless, artsy, so on and so forth. They represent students that we all had in our classrooms. Like, all right, aimless is some of my students. Aimless was me. Aimless was my peers. So these are, as much as we shy away from those harsh realities, these are things that our students are really experiencing. And I teach K-8, and these are things that I'm still seeing in my classrooms, you know? So these things are very real, and I know that they are intense and they're hard for us to talk about, but they need to be spoken about. We see so much of our students, and we see them 5 days a week for the majority of the year. So we really get to know them, and we get to kind of understand, although it's still from an outside lens, what they're going through. And we care so heavily, and I think we carry that with us on top of all of the things that we're going through as people. And it can be a lot to carry as educators, for sure.
And anybody else want to say on that? Because my next question actually leads into exactly what you just said.
So then what does real support look like? What does real support look like for staff on campuses? We've had a lot of conversations about how to support young people, right? But what does real support look like for our staff on campuses beyond, appreciation weeks or wellness Wednesdays? Like, what does it really look like? So can we imagine, not even imagine, what do we want? What do we need? What do we need?
So we're very fortunate in Prince George's County Public Schools to have a number of services, I think, and resources for all staff. I think some of the challenges is even sometimes finding the time to access those services, right? I know I don't use all of the wonderful services that the system provides. I think each person has to be reflective and to figure out where they are and what their needs are. Even if it is something as simple as taking your earned day off and disconnecting. I'm preaching to the choir, I haven't mastered that, but it is something that is needed. Like Bridget just said, let Sunday be Sunday. If Saturday you're not going to do any work, don't do any work. I love our systems. It's not a policy, it's an encouragement to turn emails off on Friday evenings, to please not send emails on Fridays. We need to check on our peers. If you have a supervisor that's open to listening, you need to connect with your supervisor. Go in, share how you're feeling. The work still is the work, and the work still has to get done. But you have to be introspective and think about what your needs are and try as best as possible to access those resources.
Yeah, actually, sometimes I wonder that too, because my first year teaching, I just remember having those days where you're like, oh my God, this is not, what I signed up for. And that grows some years. And sometimes I'm like, well, how did this, I'm still smiling 26 years later. What's going on? And for me, a lot of that has been the support that I've gotten, both at the school level and the county level. I've been fortunate to work with principals that I feel like I could go knock on their door at 5 o'clock in the afternoon when neither of us should be there. And I'm going, oh, and they're listening. And they actually care. And I also feel like I have that at the county level with Dr. Penn and Bridget. But there's not one administrative person in my building that I wouldn't feel comfortable talking to or things like that. And I feel like that, and it's been that way. One of my former principals is actually in the audience, glad to see him. And he was awesome. I think that for me, it's Mr. Jones, he's amazing. And I think that makes, and I'm lucky to have, a great principal now, Mr. Dinkins and Mr. Asmus. There you are. Okay, there you are. But I do think that makes a difference because I feel like if you have that, if you are seen kind of like she was saying, that makes it a lot easier to go into work. It makes a lot of things easier for you. If you don't have that, it just kind of takes, you know, a whole different kind of approach to working.
For me, I would say, like, I think about things like Wellness Wednesday, right? And it needs to go beyond being a banner. Sometimes it's just, this is our new thing, but it's not intentional about how we practice that thing. So first I'll say be intentional about how you practice the thing. And then the second thing is, it's simple, like if we could just acknowledge that they are human beings behind these roles and see people as human beings with real lives and issues. Like, even when I went into the principal's office, right? It could have been that I could have asked her, are you okay? Because she wasn't okay, right? So that we check in on each other and really see each other. So many times you walk by and you're like, how you doing? And we don't even wait for the answer. Wait for the answer, look at the person, see them as a human. Just an awareness is a first start and a great start.
Absolutely. I could not have said that better. So I think we are nearing our time. Yep, maybe? Okay. We have time for like maybe one or two? Perfect. So I just wanted to hold space for if anyone in the audience had a question or a comment, we can probably take two. So I want to hold space for that. Is anybody? Okay. Yes. So I see the two. So you're gonna have to project. Both of you are theater performers, so you can do that. We'll start with Matthew.
What's the next step for this production?
That's all.
With these people?
That is a great question. That is an absolute great question. And the answer to that question is, I don't know. So what has been so beautiful is this is the very first time that I've seen adults in these roles. And there's something special and there's something, I can't put my finger on the word, about having adults, and not just any adults, but teachers, district leaders, principals in these roles. I think there's this kind of duality. But again, it's usually young people, so I don't know. Who knows? If you want me to bring it to your school, let me know. All right.
So I just want to say thank you for such an amazing production. As a former K-12 PG County student and former theater teacher of the county, I felt seen, I felt heard, in ways that I can't even begin. Artists is gonna talk. Like, I can't say enough just how this really touched me, and I'm sure so many people in this room. And my question for you all, now that I'm just reflecting on this production and thinking about the things that I'm learning as an educator, I want to know, what did this production teach you about yourself, things that you might need to change, and things that you feel like you can celebrate and honor yourself for as a student and teacher?
That's a great question.
Amazing question. We'll start with Dr. Payne and then we'll go down the line. Or you want to start with Frank and come back?
Okay, so the first thing it taught me was I could learn a monologue. Because transparency, when I came with the idea and asked Isis to direct, I was gonna be out there. So it taught me that I could do something that I didn't think I could do. I'll say similar. I was in the classroom for years as a theater teacher, and I did not have any mercy about, you don't know your lines, you're not where you're supposed to be. And I'm like, I gotta practice what I preach. I gotta learn these lines and show up. So it was just a reminder to walk the walk and talk the walk, and set an example. And I see my students in the audience, and I hope I did.
Oh, I think working on this production, well, what a beautiful and unique experience to be able to have, to tell these stories from an educator's perspective and step back into some shoes that I wasn't in too long ago. And I think that it reminded me why I do what I do, and not just as a teacher, but as a performer and as a truth seeker and truth teller. It's important that we use our voices to tell the truth, even when it's not pretty, even when it's not a truth that people maybe are comfortable hearing out loud, because these are things that we have to deal with, and these are real truths. And we don't make any forward progress until we start calling a thing and putting it out in the open. So the more we're able to do things like this and touch people and help people feel seen, that I think more people will be empowered to tell their own truth.
So I haven't been on a stage since I was in 11th grade. And so that was feels like 85 years ago. And so what this experience has taught me is to continue to do things when you're afraid, to do things when you feel that when you're not the most qualified person in the room. Everyone else in the cast has an experience and a background in theater, and I would be like, what's downstage right? Downstage left. They kept saying, strike the chair. And I was like, why would I hit the chair? But that's not what strike the chair means, right? So you're never too old to learn new things, to try new things. I did not want to be in this play as much as I was. I agreed to 10 seconds on stage, and they kept adding and adding and adding. But what it allowed me to do is to meet new people, right? And I'd never met Frank, never met Kanoa, and so I just walked in to this activity as a colleague. And we really are all colleagues in this work. And as the person who leads this department, it has allowed me and my respect to grow exponentially for theater and for the opportunities that theater allows for our students. And so I wouldn't be even a satisfactory leader if I don't take the time to step into the shoes of the people on my team and see what they experience and see all that they contribute to all of the students in Prince George's County. So this has been an amazing experience with amazing people.
And it's been amazing working with you. She's a great dancer, which you may have noticed I'm not. One of the things that made me really want to do this is because I'm 53 and it's been a while since I've been on stage, and I direct like lots of little things every year. And by the time we get to the end of the year, I have these standards for my kids, like Bridget was saying, and I wanted to see, am I being realistic? Am I being real? And I think you need to remember what it's like to be a kid sometimes, because there's just so much going on. And I try to do that, but this was a great experience of just, kind of throwing me in that position. And I'm thinking, okay, I know they're tired at the end of the day for rehearsal because I know what my laundry has piled up to be this week. And Taco Bell probably knows me on a first name basis.
We have lots more questions, but I think we have no more time. Okay, great. Oh, yay! Thank you so much. I think they extended it by 5 minutes, so we can, yeah.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you for this reflective tool at the end of the year to help us. The energy that you put into it really helped us, helped me anyway, think about what my year was like reflectively. I want to say also congratulations to ISIS. I've seen this, I've had the honor of working with you for almost 20 years, and we're old.
Don't say that.
You have to say it. And I've seen multiple versions of iterations of this production, and the way it has grown and how beautiful it is. You deserve all the flowers.
All right, thank you so much. There were a couple of hands, are we good? Oh, sorry, yeah, hi.
As a college student who is minoring in education, maybe doing a master's in education, maybe to be a teacher, I'm like, I watched this and I was like, shh, you know what, let's do it.
Yes! I love that.
I was a PGCPS student, and I stopped and I was like, I saw all the teachers and I was like, I don't know them, but I know what they went through, and I was like, okay, yes. We went through that, yes we did.
I love it. Yes.
Oh my gosh, I loved it, first of all. I am very happy to say I have seen this show in multiple iterations and got to be a part of it. And being able to now see myself on both sides of the fence, I think not only is this just the play that keeps on giving in the different iterations that it has, but as it stands now, I think it's really not only important for us, the educators, but also for students. Because I was that student who was coming into your classroom during lunchtime, you're like, I want to talk, not thinking about the fact that there are other people a part of the school system who are feeling something other than myself. In high school, all I saw was artsy, aimless, bookworm, jock, that's all I saw. And so to now be able to think, like, this could have been helpful for me as a teenager too, to think about, oh wait, teachers are people too. They have feelings. Yeah. So no, it's a very helpful play on so many different levels. So thank you, and like congratulations on this. I love it.
All right, one last one. Yes.
I love all the BDF love up here, by the way. I'm a BDF mom, but also an employee. We need to spread this to our teachers and to our kids. They really, especially teachers, I don't know if you all want to hang out and keep doing this, but you are amazing. Yeah, you all are doing it.
Now, Amy.
Well, I want to thank everyone. If there are any school leaders or district leaders in the audience and you'd like to discuss a little bit more about how I can help support you in your work, I'd love to chat. I'll be out in just a second. But beyond that, I want to say thank you again. Thank you. Thank you for trusting me. Thank you for trusting me. Thank you for trusting me. Have an amazing night, y'all. Thank you.